So you have a business you're super pumped about, you're ready to grow, but the question then becomes like, how in the heck do I grow my audience? Because obviously in order to make profits, in order to grow your business, you need eyeballs. And I know that for me and for a lot of people, you don't want to feel like you're hounding your friends and family. So again, what do you do to grow your audience? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. I'm going to be breaking down several different things that you can do to actually grow beyond your friends and family. So feel free to take what you want, implement what you want, leave the rest. I am somebody who started out in 2011. I had 0 following, and over the years, I've been able to grow close to 30,000 around that I've been able to grow my audience. And so a lot of what I'm going to be sharing with you are things that I've personally implemented and done in my business. So if you're pumped, hit that thumbs up and keep on watching. Now, in case you're new to me, what's up? I'm Sherri Brown, and what I love to do, what my passion is to help entrepreneurs get started building their business and brand online using social media. Now, before I jump into actually giving you these different growth strategies, I will say kind of a prerequisite to putting all that effort in, I would get super clear on what your actual brand is. I feel like building a personal brand and getting clear on that, getting clear on what you want to be known for, who it is you serve, what problem you solve is definitely the first step. Because if that's not put into place, when you start getting eyeballs on wherever it is that you're building, you know, you're going to lose people. Trust me, as someone who did it wrong for many, many years before actually learning this is the first step. So rule number 1 is remembering that people follow people for a specific reason. And if you think about people who you follow, there's going to be a reason behind that. So for example, you know, I follow Russell Brunson because he's like the king of funnels, okay? I follow people like Amy Porterfield because I know that Amy is great when it comes to figuring out how to, you know, launch an online course through webinars. I follow Jaclyn Hill for a specific reason, to learn how to do better makeup. Thankfully for her, I'm not all pinked out like I used to be back in the day. But again, this is something that you want to get super clear on. So if you are not clear on what your brand is, I am going to leave some additional resources down in the description. So be sure to check that out. And then also I would recommend grabbing my brand identity workbook. Okay. So what this is just walking you through so that you can get super clear on exactly what industry you're in, niche down so you're known for something specific. I also help you pin down who it is, like your ideal customer that you're wanting to attract, along with coming up with some type of tagline that you could put up on social media to make sure that when people do hit your actual social media profiles, they know immediately what it is you do and what problem you solve. So also known as like why you matter, okay? So I will leave the link to this workbook down below. You can also grab it at sherribrowncoaching.com/BIW, stands for Brand Identity Workbook. Now that that is out of the way, your little prerequisite, let's go ahead and dive into these different growth strategies. So the very first thing that you can do, and this is something I used to do a lot, especially before I really started focusing on YouTube, I was really looking to grow over on Facebook. And so I use this strategy a lot to build my audience over there. Again, between my profile and my business page, I have around 18,000 people who follow me or that I'm connected to over on Facebook. So number 1 is using giveaways or sweepstakes as a way to tap into other people's audiences. Now, I've actually only done this, I think, once over here on my YouTube channel, probably something I'm going to do closer to Christmas. But although there are lots of different ways that you can do giveaways and sweepstakes, and I'll give you some examples shortly, but there's a few things that you're going to want to decide on. And if you see me looking down, that's because I do have my computer. I've got my notes just to make sure that I don't forget anything, as I'm always prepared. So there's 5 things that I want you to kind of keep in mind when it comes to running a giveaway. And this is just keeping them super simple, okay? You can make them as complicated as you want or as simple as you want. I'm very much a simple girl. I like to keep things the less complicated, the better. So the very first thing that you're going to want to decide on is when you are actually going to launch this. What's the date? Pick out the date, put it in your calendar. And these are in really no specific order. So the second thing you want to think about is how long is this giveaway going to last? Is it going to be like a short-term giveaway, or is it going to be a long-term giveaway? So some examples, I've seen people do giveaways where they last 48 hours, you know, so there's a sense of like urgency to do it right now. And then there's other giveaways that could go on for, you know, a week or two. I've actually done both. Both have been successful. So I would just recommend, if you're undecided, flip a coin and test it out. Number 3, you want to think about what you're actually going to be giving away. And I'm going to give you a little pro tip here in just a moment at the very end of this particular like giveaway tip here that you're going to want to pay attention to. So think about what it is you're giving away. It doesn't have to be like, if you're in a place right now where you feel like you don't have a lot of money to invest in some, you know, like big giveaway, it doesn't have to be anything that actually costs you money. So think about what industry you're in, and then something that's going to align with that. So for instance, you know, I've done giveaways where I've done social media reviews, where I've reviewed people's profile, I've reviewed people's content, I've done coaching calls to where it's not anything monetary that I had to give away, but it was my time. So again, you can either give away something that costs money, or you can give away your time. The fourth thing you want to keep in mind is, how do they enter? So what are the rules, so to speak, of the giveaway? What do they have to do in order to enter your giveaway? And then the last thing that you want to think about is, when and where are you going to announce the winners? It's very important when you're doing this that you make it super clear. And one of my favorite quotes is from Donald Miller, who says, if you confuse, you lose, okay? A confused mind does nothing. So if people are confused, or you make your giveaway too complicated, then chances are they're just going to scroll right by it, and they're not going to, you know, participate, and it's going to be kind of a waste of your time and their time as well, right? So let me give you a couple of examples here. So one video I did a while back when I was in network marketing, which I still technically am, I don't really promote it, but the very first month I was in this network marketing company a few years ago, I was the #1 rep in all of North America for customer acquisition. I gained 64 customers in 1 month, and I did a video. I will link that video above and below as well, and I talked about the giveaway in that, but that was something that I did. So with my giveaway, it was with a health and wellness company, and inside of this program, so to speak, there was some lifestyle changes that you had to do. One of those being walking, okay? And at the time that I started it, I had to go and get a pair of shoes, and I decided to do a giveaway where I was giving away a pair of Brooks running shoes. The giveaway lasted 2 weeks. It was like from middle of the month to the end of the month is when I actually announced it. And the rules were basically, you had to order, okay? So you had to be a new customer or an existing customer, but you had to place an order, go on the journey with me, and then you were entered for a pair of Brooks running shoes. I think the giveaway, the shoes were around $150. That was about the value of it. And then I was only giving them away to one person initially, but then for every, I think, 15 people who ordered, I would, you know, give away another pair. So I kind of made it to where for every 15 people who entered, it was like an extra giveaway. So if 30 people ordered, then I was giving away 2 pairs of running shoes, if that makes sense. And then I just announced the winner live on Facebook, and that was it. So I kept it super, super simple. Now, the pro tip that I want to give you when it comes to thinking about a giveaway that you want to do is make sure that it aligns with what your brand is, okay? So again, when I was doing the giveaway with health and wellness, it only made sense to give away a pair of shoes because it was something that I had just bought, and I knew that one of the lifestyle changes was walking, I think it was 7,500 steps a day. The giveaway was meant to only attract people who had an interest in what I was doing. If I'm giving away a social media profile review and it's somebody who, you know, isn't trying to build a business online, they're probably not going to care whether or not they have their profile set up properly in order to attract the right people. So again, you just want to think about making sure that whatever you're giving away is going to attract your ideal customer and not just freebie seekers. Another example of a giveaway is, let's take Buff Bunny. So right now you can see that from what's pulled up, they were doing their giveaway over on Instagram. They gave their audience 48 hours So in order to get entered, all they had to do was follow them on Instagram, tag a friend. They did say that you could have unlimited entries, and then they had to like the post, and that they were given 3 different winners a $100 gift card. Now, Buff Bunny is like athletic apparel. So, and I will say I absolutely love them. I do have me some Buff Bunny and great quality clothes. There was another I don't know if it was a plastic surgery office or anything, but it was somebody who did like Botox, another account. But as you can see, they're pulled up right here. And their giveaway was they were giving away 1 syringe of Juvederm. It was valued at over $500, as you can see. In order to be entered, it was follow on Instagram, tag a friend in the comments, more friends equal more entries, extra entries if they shared to their story, and then they announced a winner. Theirs was going a little bit longer, winner announced on November 4th, and they showed all their locations, and each location was doing giving away 1 syringe. So again, you can kind of see here by doing this, and they had thousands, I'm pretty sure like well over 1,000 comments on theirs. So imagine how many people they were getting exposed to. How many other people's networks were they getting exposed to? When you've got friends tagging friends, you know, again, it's a great way to grow your audience organically without having to pay for ads. So with that being said, let's move on to number 2, the second way you can grow your audience, which is through Facebook challenges. Now, although I'm not going to dive into how to put on a Facebook challenge, I will give you a few little pointers here because this is something that I used to do all the time. It is something that I'm going to continue doing in 2021. But generally, these are free challenges where you offer to guide like your ideal customer from point A to point B. So you want to give them, like, think about what type of result you could get them in a short period of time. Now, challenges can be as short or as long as you want to. Generally, I have found the sweet spot is around 3 to 5 days. Anything longer than 5 days, I feel like people just fall off. And you're always going to have, obviously, way more engagement in the beginning of a challenge than you are at the end. But people do tend to lose interest as these challenges kind of go on. But another great thing that you can do when it comes to Facebook challenges, and I've put on several around like Facebook marketing, but I've got a current student right now who she's built her business a lot through Facebook challenges, and it's allowed her to grow. And she does them. She teaches social media marketing. And so she did a challenge all around like how to sell using like Facebook stories. Okay. So it's something specific. And each day she's given her audience information, educational information. She gives them a little action step, something to do. And so at the end of it, they're actually getting a result. And the one thing that I love about Facebook challenges is it's kind of like a little video series, so to speak. You can make them as simple or, you know, as in-depth as you want to, but it really helps to build that know, like, and trust factor and that community with your audience as well. But a good thing or another idea, a little pro tip here when it comes to Facebook challenges is the fact of if you want to kind of really get the people that you're inviting to invite other people, is you can do prizes and giveaways to those who either participate, for those who invite other people to the challenge. So again, it's not only a great way to get more people in, but it's also a great way if you use prizes or giveaways, it's a great way to also tap into their networks as well. Now, if you have any particular questions around Facebook challenges, let me know that below. It could possibly be, if you wanted me to, I could do more of an in-depth video all around how to put on a challenge. So just let me know. Again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail right now, but we're going to move on to the third way to grow your audience. Number 3 is vendor events. Now, this is more of an offline strategy and not really one of my favorites, but it definitely is an option and something that I did do in the beginning. I just wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it's definitely something that you could do, especially if you're wanting to connect with people in your area. And this is basically where you set up some type of booth. I'm sure that, you know, if you contact your local chamber, I'm sure that you've been to these vendor events yourself, but it's basically, you know, in a big room where people set up different tables and they're kind of promoting their products. Now, a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind if this is the route that you want to go with is the fact of, number 1, I would be choosy about the different events that you go to, because a lot of them do require that you pay in order to be a part of it or in order to be a vendor at that particular event. Now, another pro tip I'm going to give you is if you do set up at vendor events, I would make sure to have some type of giveaway there. That way you can collect people's information and follow up with them later. Because if you aren't collecting information and you don't have a way to actually follow up with the people, I feel like it's not only a waste of your time, but a waste of your money as well, as most people aren't just going to buy right on the spot unless you have products there with you. I know with me, most of the time that I've set up there was only like one company. It was a network marketing company that I was with that sold like handbags and stuff, where I actually had something tangible to give away right there. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also based on what kind of business you have, whether it's service-based, whether it's product-based. The fourth thing that you can do is to create consistent weekly content that serves your audience. And I don't know about you, but I am constantly sharing. When I come across a good piece of content, whether it be educational, whether it be funny, whatever the case may be, if I come across a video that I think is going to be helpful to my audience or super funny, something that I think one of my friends are going to like I'm sharing it, okay? So there is power in creating weekly consistent content. It's going to build trust with your audience, because if you're somebody who's just hit and miss and you're just kind of creating here or there, you know, I don't really think, like, people may check you out, but it isn't going to help you really build your audience for long-term success. So now I will leave some additional information down below, some additional videos, some additional resources when it comes to creating content, because I know that a lot of people, this is something I struggled with, was I felt like I didn't really know where to find good content, or like thinking about, I was just nervous about, am I going to be able to create consistent content on a weekly basis? And so I will leave some additional resources specifically on how to come up with a content plan, how to create one, and then also where to find good content ideas. And if you are getting some value up to this point, be sure to not only give this video a thumbs up, but share it out. So if you know anybody who, you've got friends who are also trying to build a business from home and you know that they're struggling with it, feel free again to share it out. Sharing is caring. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next way to grow your audience, and that is by creating content on a search engine platform. Now, although I do 100% feel that you can build an audience on whatever platform that you're on, I just think there's a long-term advantage and power when you're using and creating on a search engine platform like YouTube, like Pinterest. You know, with Instagram and Facebook, those are not actually search engines. And I know firsthand from experience that when I was creating all of my content over on Facebook, you know, when I was posting my videos, once the video was like 24, 48 hours, even a week old, like those videos died and I wasn't really gaining views after that particular moment. However, when I did switch and I started putting up my videos and putting up my content over here on YouTube, you know, I have videos from years ago that are still getting thousands of views, okay? So there's power in that. And I feel like that you get way more bang for your buck when you focus on a search engine, because that's where people are actually going. If you think about it, you know, where are people going when they want to know how to do something specific, or they want to know what a review is? Generally, I'm not going to Facebook. I am going to YouTube. I'm going to Google. I'll go to Pinterest. Those are the top three that I use. So just think about that when it comes to creating your content. Again, there's nothing wrong, no shame if you are wanting to grow on Instagram, or if you say Facebook is your jam and you are committed to growing on those platforms. Continue to do it. Again, take what you want to implement from this video and leave the rest. Number 6 is through collaborations, serving other people's audience, like getting publicity. Now, I will say I'm not a total pro when it comes to getting publicity and teaching you like how to get featured on other people's podcasts or how to get featured in top magazines or anything like that, because there are other people who specialize in actually showing you how to do this. But if you can actually connect with other people and find ways, like, you know, just have conversations with them, build relationships and figure out like, hey, how can I serve your audience? I have had people, you know, guest trainers come in and teach my students stuff, and I've had quite a few of my students who have then turned around and hired them or bought something from them. I've been asked to speak on several people's summits, meaning, you know, people who are doing online virtual events. And, you know, I'm about to be doing one in November as well, where I'm going to be teaching. It's a video marketing summit. And so I'm going to be sharing just growth tips on what I've done to grow my TikTok following. I never really talk about TikTok much, although that's where my biggest audience resides. I have over, I'm pushing 50,000 followers on TikTok, and I didn't even think about them. And that was, I grew it to 50,000 or 49,000 in a very short period of time. But there are lots of people who put on summits to where they will interview a lot of different people around a specific topic. And so by doing that, again, that will allow you to get some exposure as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next tip, which is probably one of the most important in my opinion. That is getting to know your social media platform and really diving into what works for that particular platform. Here's what I mean by this, because you're probably thinking, what in the heck did you just say? So I think one of the biggest mistakes that people made, because I made it too and I see people doing it all the time, is when you start a business and you want to use social media to grow, you want to try to be on every single platform. But the problem becomes, like, in my opinion, if you haven't mastered one platform and you don't know how to really grow on one, you really don't have any business trying to grow on the others. Like, I'm a firm believer in picking a home. So picking a platform that's going to be your home, and then the other platforms are more like vacation homes. It's not like you're there posting every single day. It's not your main focus. But just understand that every social media platform speaks a different language. What you do to grow on YouTube is not going to help you when it comes to if you want to grow on Instagram. Instagram, I know a big way to get exposure over there is by the use of like hashtags. If you used hashtags over here on YouTube, that's not really how you're going to get exposure. On YouTube, it's all about making sure that you've got obviously great content, number one, but it's what can you do to get your video as much exposure as possible? It's a good title. It's making sure that you've got a good thumbnail. Is your video optimized using different tags so that when people are searching, they can find you? It's description. There's a lot of things that go into fully optimizing a YouTube video that when you go over on Facebook, the language on Facebook is going to be totally different. How, the different tactics and strategies that I use to grow on Facebook is not what I did to really grow on Instagram. So again, get to know your social media platform, whichever one that you're building on. Find out what works on that particular platform, what doesn't, and that is going to, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of other people who don't take the time to actually do this. I'm also curious as to which one of these strategies that you're most excited to implement. And of course, if you have any questions, post those down in the comments. But I do hope you got some value from this video. If you did, be sure again, give it a thumbs up, share it out, like it, do all the things. And while you wait on the next video, be sure to check out these other two videos that are popping up. One specifically is all about how to narrow down. Remember what I said in the beginning, the prerequisite is getting ultra clear on what your brand is, who it is you're serving, what problem you solve. And then, you can kind of work on the growth strategies. But with that being said, I hope you have the most productive day, the most productive week, and I'll see you back here on the next one. Bye for now.